We have an invader in our lands. On a routine scout mission, I was ambushed by a pain seeker olog.
Hey dealer! I have come an awfully long way to find you. By the look on your face, you are not nearly as happy to see me as I am to see you.
Enraged by this invasion, Bagga joined the fight. Chaos ensued as Bagga tried to fight back the Painseeker orc who was invading his lands. He was able to get the better of Talion in a brief moment of weakness, but Talion wouldn't be taken out that easily. Talion confronted the olog to find out his motives.
You will burn, your friends will burn, everything will burn. But first, you burn.
It was clear this olog just wanted to watch the world burn. Bagga was already completely exhausted by the fight. This olog got his wish. Bagga was burning. Talion moved quickly to revive Bagga, while avoiding the cursed bombs as best he could. Eventually, Bagga mustered up the courage and the strength to take on the Painseeker, causing massive damage to him. This Painseeker was absolutely relentless. His combination of brute strength, fire attacks, cursed attacks, and poison weapons proved troublesome. This original legend Bagga was feeling the brunt of the fight. He wasn't sure if he was going to survive, until he found an opening. He hit the Painseeker olog with an amazing counter, using up all of his strength. But the fight took a toll on him. He'd mustered up his final bit of strength to repel this invader. With that last heroic act, Bagga, the original, Bagga the legend, Bagga the Alchemist, could finally rest. Bagga died there, beside the decapitated body of the Painseeker invader. But Talion couldn't rest. Talion needed to know why that olog came to his territory. Eventually, Talion tracked down the olog back to his home base. They'd taken over an entire territory. Talion was furious of what these ologs had done. These pain seekers, these pain lovers, they were about to experience a whole new world of pain. But Talion knew he couldn't just simply walk in there and retake the fort single-handedly. He knew he had to build an army, but he knew that only one army would do, and that would have to be an army of Baggas. The most ruthless and cunning orc in all the land. Talion used the power of the ring to jump into different alternate realities. There he could explore and recruit new different variants of Bagga the Alchemist. He also sent out the call to any Baggas that wanted to fight, to join his army and avenge the death of Bagga the Original. While Talion did this, news of Bagga's death travelled across Seergost, which led to a rebellion from no less than one of the scariest orcs in all of Middle-earth, the Scorpion.
They saw me you're building could conquer Mordor, with a real Udo can charge, like me!
The Scorpion wanted to steal the multiversal power of the ring, so that he could take control of the army of Baggas. I was able to get Forgeclaw back up and into the fight. It was at this moment when Talion utilized the power of the multiversal ring to summon an alternate version of Bagga. This Bagga had come from a reality where the Scorpion was in charge and he had gone completely crazy and delusional. This Bagga was drawn to this universe because of the connection with the Scorpion. This Bagga knows nothing but hate for the Scorpion.
I'll take your head and parade it around on a spear, man-built.
For those of you interested, here are the stats of the Scorpion. You can see he's very powerful. The Scorpion had become obsessed with Talion, but Forgeclaw was able to use this rage against him. The mad Bagga watched on as Forgeclaw weakened his nemesis. But Scorpion wouldn't be defeated that easily. Even with 2 experienced orcs on my side, this fight was still difficult. I used my special explosive attack on the Scorpion, but he'd been studying Talion for years and had the perfect counter ready. Talion narrowly avoided death again. Something awoke inside Talion at this moment. He started making progress using a mixture of frost and arrow attacks, something the Scorpion could not defend against. It was then time for Forgeclaw to hit him with his special move. With the Scorpion weakened, Talion moved in to shame him. The Scorpion, enraged, charges Talion, but Talion was too quick. At first, Talion tried to recruit the Scorpion back into his army. So there was only one thing left to do. Talion, still furious after Bagga's death, sent out his spies to find out what exactly happened and who sent this Painseeker over to assassinate him. All of the spies returned, except for the spies that were sent to one location. Talion headed there to investigate, and what he found was an army of painless Painseeker ologs that had taken over the fort, led by their ruthless leader, Urhaken, the Pain Lover. Along his side there was Az Tarmo, the Painless, Az Pradu, the Pain Lover, Hisu, another Pain Lover, Gram, the Pain Seeker, Henok, the Pain Seeker, Az Grills, the Pain Lover, and finally, Janik, the Pain Seeker. It was always talked about in Middle-earth that if the Olog stopped all the infighting, that they could take over and conquer any fortress. Somehow this new Olog Overlord has united the Pain Seekers and the Painless Ologs. This truly is a force to be reckoned with. Talion knew that there was only one army he could form to take on this new threat, and that army would have to be an army of Baggas from different realities. Different versions of Baggas all come together to take out a common threat, the threat of the Painless. For you see, the Painless army is the same as the Bagga multiverse army. Each of these different Painless orcs is the same, but from a different reality, and they've all come together and claimed this fort as their empire's new headquarters. Talion set off to build an army of Baggas. The first Bagga I looked to recruit came from a universe where orcs only communicated in grunting noises. Most Baggas aren't happy you've entered their reality. Most don't want you there, most don't even know who you are. They'll be hostile, they'll attack you, they'll do everything they can not to listen to you. This Bagga was not happy about me turning up, and he also couldn't communicate with me. He had no idea what I was saying and what I was there for. The only option was for me to fight him to earn his respect. But I drastically underestimated how weak this Bagga was. In my universe, Baggas are immune to arrows, so I was completely shocked by this. Talion returned home empty-handed, but it wasn't long until another Bagga presented himself. The next Bagga that Talion reached out to had been betrayed many times. This led him to become untrustworthy of outsiders. His old friend betrayed him and actually murdered his favourite pig. This Bagga now wears that pig's head on his shoulder. Talion moved into this Bagga's reality and started stealth killing orcs in order to lure this Bagga the Betrayed out. Once this Bagga revealed himself, it became clear just how damaged he'd become from all the defeats. Talion could sense this Bagga was strong though. Being defeated builds character and builds skills. He could see this Bagga had a few immunities and also got angry at a few things. This would be good for the army. So Talion went to work weakening him before he could recruit him for the army. Talion got lucky there at this Bagga being Arapus. Talion utilised a barrage of poison ground pound attacks to thin out the ever-expanding orc army that were coming to Bagga's aid. Eventually, after gallons and gallons of poison was in Bagga's system, he was ready to be recruited into the army of Baggas.
I add you to my army! No! Defeat!
Being in this universe triggered something in Talion. He could sense another Bagga nearby. This Bagga being very similar. In fact, so similar it was the exact same Bagga, except this one was from slightly earlier in this Bagga's timeline.
Another alarm, another scrap, another chance to prove who's toughest around here!
It was before he'd been brutally defeated and lost his mind. As you can see, this Bagga is not as strong as the other Bagga Betrayed, but Talion still needed him in the army. The fight was going well until a familiar face popped his head up.
It's your fault! I'm not trying to take the fort! I would never try to take the fort! Would you just keep the bloody fort?
This certainly complicated things for Talion. Even though Bruise is mentally broken, he's still a pain to deal with. And with both orcs being Arapra,
It looks flashy, but it's got no bite.
this is going to prove to be a test for Talion. And as if things weren't bad enough, another olog appeared.
It makes you think, doesn't it? What he said?
But Talion wasn't here for these two ologs. He was here for Bagga the Betrayed, so he focused on Bagga. It was tough, but eventually he was able to wear Bagga down using poison attacks. Once weak enough, he could swoop in and try and recruit this Bagga into the army.
At my side, you will fight. You're too simple. I'm too strong.
Sadly, this Bagga, being of sound mind, had iron will. Talion does not take kindly to iron will. Empty-handed, Talion returned to Sirgost, before another Bagga opportunity arrived. Talion quickly ran to the rip in his reality. In this reality, this Bagga was the brewmaster for the fort. Talion knew to lure him out, all he had to do was destroy his grog. this Bagga had become completely crazy for drinking a bad batch of grog. Teeth chattering and baring his fangs was now the only way he could communicate with people. When taking on a Bagga inside his own fort, Talion knew that there was many orcs that would come to his aid. Talion had to quickly disperse them so that he could focus on Bagga. While trying to focus on the grunts, this Bagga ended up getting the drop on Talion. This Bagga was proving tough. So tough in fact that normal arrows would bounce straight off his head. Eventually Talion was able to wear him down. Despite the grunt's efforts, Talion was able to dominate him and recruit him into his army of Baggas. Alright guys, if you do enjoy these videos, please let me know down in the comments. I genuinely do look at them all, and they legit do influence what I do here. So yeah, let me know if you like the series, what you want to see more of, and yeah, follow me on Twitch, lads. I love streaming there, it's a lot of fun. We do Shadow of War, we do Darkest Dungeon, we do loads of things, we do RimWorld, it's a good time. And yeah, have a good one, lads. See you in the next one. Cheers.
Subscribe for more of that delicious Shadow of War content. Come on, it's probably free to do. And if it isn't, maybe it's worth the money. I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet, but you can trust me. I'm an anonymous voiceover. Those are very